This is my game, BookChief Remastered, a cooking game that I'm right now working on, and as you might notice, the whole time I was working on a grid plane on the development map. And over time, this got a little boring for me, so I actually decided to make a map for my indie project. And as I said in my first video, after the pizza, I did not work on the project for a while, and this is where our journey finished for this video. I didn't work on the project for like 1 month. I wasn't motivated at all, and there were actually no reason to give it development. All of my friends, except one, didn't laugh at me. And I was just surfing on my phone, playing games offline or online, and not work on anything for like a lot of time. Until I met a person, which you might know about her if you watched the previous video, Azu. She helps me get motivated back, helps me to work on the project again, and finally make the map. So, I firstly start planning for what I'm going to do. I opened up Milanote and I start working on different ideas and different references for the map. I came up with a city, an island, the same map in BookChief version 1, BookChief version 2, but with some changes, a floating island and a digital world, and that's it. So which one I'm going to pick? Starting with the digital world. Well, not that much, because it doesn't fit the style of the game, and I wanted something unique and different. For the BookChief version 1 and version 2, I also ignored them because they are not that look and they are not satisfying at all. And as I was about to delete other references, I came up with a really awesome idea. What if I combined cities, island, and floating islands together to make a cool map? And it immediately hit my mind, so I started planning for it. Now you might ask me, why a floating island? Well, the answer is because it makes the game to have a little bit of challenges while trying to deliver the foods, and also it's looking pretty cool. So here's what I did. Firstly, I downloaded some assets from the Unreal Engine's marketplace called Fab, and quickly I add them into my game, and then search for those that I actually want, especially this cactus and cliff asset, which I use its cliff for the actual islands. Since I don't have any idea that how I can make the top of the islands look like a train, like grasses or stuff like that, I decided to use the mesh painting tool to make the cliffs looks good and what I want for each biomes. I have 4 biome ideas in my mind. A plain biome, like Minecraft's plain, where everything is normal and simple. A winter biome, which is cold and you need to wear a jacket so your energy is not going to drop pretty fast. A desert biome, which also ran your energy out faster than the plain, which includes some ingredients that you need to pick up. And for the last one, a city where you need to deliver the foods and earn money or buy other stuffs. Money. Money. So I quickly start working. I made a new map and called it Main Island. I set up the lights and begin to work. I quickly put the items around the map and make what I had in my mind, and it was on that moment when I finds out I'm stuck at environment design. Then I use the foliage tool to add some grasses, trees, rocks, and some other stuff around the map so the map is not going to look pretty empty. And for those who might not notice, in games and game dev, when you're trying to use grasses, a huge amount of them are going to be used no matter how hard you try. And optimizing this was horrible, so I decided to temporarily disable the shoutcasting for the grasses to make them more optimized later, when I find out how I am supposed to actually make this thing optimized. Which is a little bit complicated, I'm not going to talk about it, but anyway, for the trees I use this pack. It has some incredible trees, fluffy, circlish, not with too much details, and actually what I want, so I quickly start by adjusting them to make them look better, and I disable a massive color, and so in nights it's not going to shine like that. I placed them around the map and now the trees are looking pretty cool. I also set this big purple tree which turns out shaping the personality of the game, and it becomes my favorite part of the game. I have no idea why. Okay, so after the trees, I began to work on some rocks and stone. I added a new foliage and put them around the maps. And now the map is pretty much ready, but just a plain biome. So I decided to make the desert biome next. I painted the meshes again, put them around the map. I give it some bones, cactus, and some new foliage for now, and the desert biome is looking pretty ready. Okay, so for the winter biome, I painted the meshes again and I used the same tree but white. Some foliage but white and some crystals. For the last biome, the city, I painted the meshes again and I didn't finish the environment for city, so yeah, you need to wait for it to see the results. Something that I always wanted to add to my game was having a feeling of survival and also having different paths. So the game is not completely going for a simple way, so I decided to add a fuel burner or the generator. The machine is woods and coals that I'm just ended up with the woods for now, but I'm gonna add coals later. If you interact with it while holding a wood, it's removing it from your inventory and starts the generator. The generator was the first thing that I decided to rig and animate inside Unreal Engine for an important reason. And I'm so impressed at how awesome and powerful Unreal Engine's animating tool is. I made an opening, closing, opened and closed animation, which then, with some code, I can play the animations based on my needs. Then I made a simple pile of wood's blueprint, which is the original idea was to use an axe to cut them off. But before then, I didn't know how to make the animations for the tools and I just ignored it. As this is it. But I'm gonna remake it soon, I promise. For now, if you interact with an object, it's just gonna drop two simple woods log and disappears for a while, not completely getting removed from the world. If the generator is burning ingredients, based on the ingredients, it's going to allow the lights, the cooking system, and the stew blueprint get working. Because now, before you turn on the generator, it's not going to work no matter how hard you try. Anyway, it's kinda complicated and boring to explain, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Then I made a storage system. In BookChief version 1, there were this crates back then, and if you interact with it, it's simply gonna give you the item, but it was too huge, so buggy, and not what I want. In BookChief version 2, there were this ingredient on the table, they doesn't look cool at all, and it was a temporary by the way, and that turns into the main mechanic, and it looks horrible. In BookChief version 3, which is the BookChief Remastered, I decided to add shelves, which can hold 6 items at the same time, or 6 crates. Now, if you watch my first video, so I'm right now editing the video. I searched the whole first the whole edit, the whole first one edit, the whole first edit, the whole first video, and yeah, I didn't find anywhere on this whole video that explains about the biggest blueprint in the game. I think it was for the previous record, because actually I recorded this video for like 2 times and edited it for like 2 times to get what I want, and yeah, right now I can't find it. I have no idea where it is, but I actually mentioned that I think I was like explaining about the cooking system. um I was explaining about the cooking system when I said that it's not my biggest blueprint. I'm not going to talk about the biggest blueprint here, and yeah, I have no idea where that part goes. And I just want to mention that, yeah, in the previous video, the plan was actually explaining about the biggest blueprint, but now it's gone. I have no idea where it goes. But anyway, right now I'm gonna explain about what's the biggest blueprint inside the whole game. And yep, you guessed it right. This stupid system took me like 3 entire days and required me to go farther than what I expect in math, and literally destroying my entire life. I picked them all and boom, I can draw them. I can pick the whole crate. Yeah, it's looking terrible. Boom, I can drop it, bro. This is like awesome. And what the f is this lighting issues? I have no idea what the f, bruh. Okay, so I modeled this shelf in Blender. I imported it to Unreal Engine. I made a blueprint of the shelf, which triggers an event inside another blueprint, which holds the item to show the blueprinted version of the item that I'm holding. Then it just removes the item from our inventory when we interact with it, and basically set the mesh of itself with its material to what we actually hold. It finishes between the first day, and I was so much happy with it and was pretty easy. Actually, it took me to spend a lot of time on the calculator to figure out what I need to do, but it works. This is the only thing that matters. But stuff get interesting because what you have seen right now on the screen is not the biggest blueprint still. Introducing crates. What I had in my mind was when you press F, it's simply gonna remove one item from the crate and give it to the player. Save the new variables, and now an item has been removed. Set its static mesh and its texture, and if you press E, it's gonna give the player the whole crate, but it was much more complicated than what you think. I'm not gonna bore you with the detail because this simple crate is not just picking up. You have to drop it. That means more code to drop this item with the items remain from the crate before. And it's not just that. You have to make sure that you can place the ingredients back down, and you need to update a lot of the stuff, and we should not allow the player to place another ingredients in. And we are not finished here. Since each crate can hold just 5 items inside, what would happen if it reaches its limit? Or what would happen if it reaches 0? Which in that case is spawning a new blueprint into the world, which is the empty crate, and we have to make sure that we can place another ingredient in when the crate is completely empty, and also update a lot of stuffs. This is basically hell. And also, by the end of the crate system, I seen this scene. Bro, tell me exactly what's going on. And you might think it's finished here. Are you sure? We also need to set the crate inside the shell, which cost me like 6 entire hours of editing code. This is awesome. And now we're finally having the mechanic. This is like, God, kill me! I think I lost my whole life at this journey because I think without any rest, anything to drink or eat, the storage system, which includes the shelf, the item saver, and the crates, I did spend like 48 hours without stopping. I'm not lying. Now, for the last thing I made until today is the footstep system, some sound effects, and a boombox like my BookChief version 1, but this time, you need to insert cassettes for it to work. I put on some arts and Krita for the cassette, I molded a boombox and some cassette molds and paint them. It was a day of work and I'm so happy with the result. Anyway, I imported them into Unreal, give them some animations for the boombox like the generator, and then made the cassettes our interactable item, so we can pick them up and work on the boombox. If the player interacts with the boombox by pressing F, it's simply gonna check that is the cassette already at the boombox or not. If there is a cassette in the boombox, it's gonna give the cassette to the player and add a new one and play the new music. If it doesn't, it's simply gonna remove the item from the player's inventory and play the song. And if we press E, it's gonna toggle between pause and resume, as this easy and simple. I also added the day and night cycle with using the day sequence plugin on the Unreal Engine and adding a timer with a bed so the player could actually sleep, and the timer will set to 0 and animation will play, so yeah, the game, you can sleep or you can just stay awake. And this is everything for now. In the next dialogue, By the way, before I finish the video, I'm gonna talk about what happens to BookChief Remastered and what I'm going to do for it. As you might have seen, I actually sent a post inside YouTube, and I actually said some stuff inside the Discord that explaining that BookChief Remastered is broke. It got corrupted for no reason. I have no idea why this happened. I tried everything and it's broke. I have no idea why. By the way, I'm recording this audio without a single script, so yeah, I might sometimes make some mistakes, and I'm so lazy to rewrite a script for this. So I just want to say that BookChief is out. I have no idea what I'm going to do because BookChief, it's broke, bro. It's broke. I have no idea what I'm going to do. By the way, I forgot. It's future Doopy there, but BookChief is like broke. I have no idea what happens to it, and I'm gonna start my research for what happens to it. But I'm gonna give you more updates in Discord. So yeah, if you wanna check out what happens to the BookChief, it's a really cool suggestion for you to check out the Discord, and I will also really appreciate that. By the way, have a nice day. Goodbye.